World Englishes or Philippine English. It is the variety of English used in the Philippines. English is taught in schools as one of the two official languages of the country. Philippine English is one of the very few American transplanted Englishes. Many Filipinos write and speak in fluent English, although there might be differences in diction and pronunciation. Philippine English follows American English spellings and grammar. However, Filipino words is completely different in spelling and pronunciation compared to English words when translated. For example, the Filipino word mahal kita means I love you in English.
Wasiego, or the Japanese-made English, are Japanese language expressions based on English words or part of the combinations that do not exist in standard English, or whose meanings differ from the words from which they were derived. An example of Wasiego is Reburapo, which means level up. Some Wasiego terms are not recognizable as English words in English-speaking countries, such as the word sukinishipu, which means skinship. It refers to physical contact between close friends or loved ones and appears to have been coined from the word skin and kinship. In other cases, a word may simply have gained a slightly different meaning, like kaningu, which means cunning, but it actually means cheating, or like on a test. Some Wasiego are often borrowed from Japanese into other languages, including English itself. Other factors that affect the English of the Japanese people is that they cannot differentiate the letter L and R and sometimes or often mix the two up. This is because Japanese people are taught with an exercise called Radarirodoru, and because of that, it sounds like a midway pronunciation of the letter L. And because of that, most Japanese people tend to mix the two up. Like the word light, they pronounce it sometimes as raito.
Chinese English. Chinglish is the English language influenced by the Chinese language, which is not always good translated. It is also called Zhongxi Yingyu in Chinese. In Hong Kong, Macau, Guangdong, and Guangxi, the term Chinglish refers mainly to Cantonese-influenced English. This term is commonly applied to ungrammatical or nonsensical English in Chinese contexts. The related term Chinglish, a blend of words Chinese and English, tends to be used in a humorous or derogatory fashion to characterize English texts such as road signs and menus that have been translated literally and often imprecisely from the Chinese. Chinglish may also refer to the use of Chinese words in an English conversation or vice versa. Chinglish is sometimes characterized as an interlanguage. Some examples are mostly seen in street signs, restaurant menus, and other environmental signages, like do drunken driving. It means don't drink and drive. Slip down and fall down carefully, which means be careful not to slip and fall. A time sex thing, which means disposable items. The duck until exploded, which means fried duck. Do not disturb. Tiny grass is dreaming, which means don't step on the grass. And hand grenade, which means fire extinguisher.
Considered as one of the major variations of the English language, Australian English is the official language of Australia, having originally deviated from British English in the 18th century after the founding of the colony of New South Wales. It has been recognized as being distinctive from British English for almost 200 years and emerged as European settlers from Britain, Ireland, and Germany mixed with one another. Generally speaking, Australian English takes features from both British and American English, so it is sometimes considered as a combination of the two variations. However, it is important to understand that there are a number of unique features as well, including exclusive vocabulary. Australia shares the same spelling system with the British, whereas the United States has a slightly different spelling system. For example, the word color. In the Americanized version, color is spelled as C-O-L-O-R, while the British/Australian version, it is spelled as C-O-L-O-U-R. Same with the word behavior. The Americanized version is spelled as B-E-H-A-V-I-O-R, while the British/Australian version is spelled as B-E-H-A-V-I-O-U-R. English is based on British English. Most of the vocabulary is the same, with a few exceptions, such as the word apartment. Apartment is the Americanized version, while the British/Australian version of it is flat. The word college is Americanized and its counterpart in the British/Australian vocabulary is university. The Americanized word is cookie, and the counterpart in the British/Australian vocabulary is biscuit. Another thing you may have noticed is that Australians love slang. For example, the word sanga means sandwich, breaky means breakfast, sunnies means sunglasses, arvo means afternoon.
American English, or sometimes called the United States English or the US English. This English is the most widely spoken language in the United States and is the common language used by the federal government to the extent that all laws and compulsory education are practiced in English. Although not an official established language of the whole country, English is considered the de facto language and is given official status by 32 of the 50 state governments. Some examples are opossum, raccoon, squash, moose, wigwam, moccasin, cookie, kindergarten, rodeo, corn. Hey guys, I hope that you learned something from that video. Thank you for watching. Bye!